That's what plethora is. He is the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and you are complete in him. Here's what always shouts me about that. He's the fullness of the Godhead bodily. Jesus Christ is God in the flesh, who is the head of all principalities and powers. Jesus Christ is sovereign. So here, his deity and then his sovereignty. And what's in the middle? And you are complete in him. Here's the way I look at it, like a sandwich. Not a sandwich. You know, we say sandwich. I want a sandwich. What is our humanity sandwiched with? He's the fullness of the Godhead body, his deity, and you are complete in him, my humanity, who is the head of all principality and power. Man, my humanity is sandwiched between Jesus' deity and Jesus' sovereignty. Do you know what that means? No worries. I forgot the name of the rapper who did it. He put out a rap song, No Worries. No worries. I am totally protected because God, who is the complete controller of everything, he got me. You remember that today? Wherever you go, I am somebody. I'm a child of the King. I'm not my own. I've been bought with a price. I've been purchased by the blood of the Lamb, washed. So I'm a child of the King. You think about that. Everywhere you go, he loved me. And remember the shirt or the illustration, how much did Jesus love us? This much. Stretched him high, hung him wide, he hung his head, and then he died. That's love. That's love. Now you think about it, that God loved us so much, John 3:16, that he gave the best of heaven for the worst of earth. Now that you know, I said I give people something to go out on and to be excited about Jesus. You know, and then we'll get to talk about what we want to talk about. I want to talk about why did I get married? Because you begin to look at, I got the Bible here. We're looking at Judges chapter 14, and we're talking about Samson and what happened with him in his marriage. You've already seen how long it lasts. But when we realize, they did a survey. They asked 7 out of 10 couples, if you had it to do all over, would you get married again? 7 out of 10 couples said no. More than half of them put a word in front of no. And you know what the word is. H-E double hockey sticks. And that's right. It's like I told you last time, the woman who looked at her shoes and told the shoe salesman, these shoes are just like my marriage. Look good on the outside, but hurting me like heck on the inside. And some of you know what she's talking about. Your marriage has gone from courtship to courtroom, from matrimony to alimony, from wedlock to deadlock. And you're asking yourself, why did I get married? Yeah, that's it. No, that's Tyler Perry's title for play. I don't know if you saw it, but I went to see it. Man, I'm so glad when I go see movies, I always take a pencil and paper. So if they do something that I can use as an illustration, I already got my stuff there. And so, my wife she would go crazy. She'd say, oh my God, who goes to a movie and takes notes on the movie? I said, I do. So guess what? Show you. She's look at me and, oh God, we can't even watch a movie without this man. Something got to be Bible with you. Everything. I know how I'm going to punish you. I'm going to take that Bible away from you. I said, I know I'm going to punish you. I'm going to take that credit card away from you. She smacked me. Shut up. You ain't taking nothing. Yeah, that was my baby. But anyway, and then let me show you how it evolved. We go to like this is and this was really got me. We go in to see this movie. I said, oh, I got to run back before this movie starts. They're just saying the trailers. Where you going? I didn't bring my pen and paper. She reached in her purse. She said, I did. I'm a crier, I didn't cry, but I got choked up. And she said, well, what's wrong? I said, remember you used to jump on me about this, and now, you're making sure that, oh, she said, oh, I'm way past that. Yeah, here, take this pencil and paper and let me watch this movie. Yeah. But why did I get married? I actually ran out of paper. There were so many illustrations about marriage in that movie. Now, the movie explores the difficulties of maintaining a solid marriage relationship in modern times. If you didn't see it, you ought to see it. Really, it was like, for me, I said, man, Perry done outdid itself with this one. This ain't some silly thing. This thing is really a reflection of what's going on in life. So let me just tell you very briefly what it was. 8 college friends go to Colorado for their annual week-long reunion. One couple's infidelity shifts the entire mood when it's brought to light. Now remember this, sex is the fence around marriage. Did you hear what I said? You have marriage and there's a fence around it. What is it? Sex. If you won't stay outside the fence before marriage, you won't stay in the fence after marriage. I say it all the time. You'll hear me say it again and again and again. See, a real man will give up a one-night stand for a woman he can't stand one night without. Now that's tweetable, but I already put it on Facebook a couple times. So go ahead. You got friends I don't have. Put it on Facebook. I said a real man will give up a one-night stand for a woman he can't stand one night without. So in the movie, the secrets are revealed, and each couple begins to question their own marriage. Ergo, why did I get married? Let me ask anybody who's single. Singles, holler at me. Say, hey. Have you found out that it's better to be single and wish you were married than to be married and wish you were single? Let me say it again. It's better to be single and wish you were married than to be married and wish you were single. The first is a living hope. The second is a living HE double hockey sticks. So in the movie, over the course of a week, the couples battle with issues of infidelity, commitment, betrayal, fiscal irresponsibility, and unforgiveness. I mean, you got to see it. Because some of us as couples will see ourselves in some of them couples. And I was sharing this with one. He said, I see us in every one of them. I said, well, we know where this is going. So what was going on? They were physically present, but emotionally absent. You in a relationship like that? Y'all in the same house, but y'all not in the same heart. One of my preacher friends, his wife told him this. He said it changed his entire marriage. She said, John, the problem in this marriage is that we're both in love with the same person. Wow. See, many of us aren't going to be able to be married to somebody else until we get a divorce from ourselves. Man, there are some women, they're with some men that are so proud and stuck up. They only think about themselves and what she contributes to him. There are some men, like I said before, they thought she was Miss Right. They just didn't know her first name was Always. And so they were physically present, emotionally absent. They talked, but they didn't communicate because they talked at each other rather than talk to each other. Then you had a passive, feminized man married to a drama queen. I called her a pit bull in a skirt. And you do know the difference between a cantankerous woman and a pit bull? Lipstick. Then you had a workaholic woman with an attention-starved man. She rationed out sex to her husband like she was in a recession, and she was using if you use it, it dries up or something. Hope I'm talking to some adults. Then you had a workaholic woman with an attention-starved man. Well, I said that. Then there was this low self-esteem, adipose woman with a man whose picture is in the dictionary beside the word dog. Finally, you had the so-called perfect couple who covered this dysfunction by avoiding dealing with their issues, who in reality, her husband was like Schleprock in the Flintstone. Remember Schleprock went around with a cloud over his head, and he carried a cloud over his head, and a wife who thought she was Oprah. She was giving advice that she never used herself. Oh man, and all 5 couples asking themselves, why did I get married? Now, they're not the first ones to ask that question. They won't be the last. Samson in Judges 14 and the woman he married asked themselves the same question. In Judges chapter 14, we're going to focus on verses 1 and 2 and 15 through 20. Samson gets married, his marriage fails, and he shows singles and married a wrong way to do a right thing. Why? Because he was single before he got married. Can I speak to the single people? I ain't going to say all that, brother. Hey, you got to learn. If you don't do what you're supposed to do on the front end of the relationship, quit complaining about what you get on the back end of the relationship. See, this text is tailored to teach this timeless truth. What you do before marriage determines what you get after marriage. What you do before marriage determines whether your marriage is going to last. More so than what happens in the marriage. Now, I gave you 5 reasons. Let me go over them again. Why did I get married? Why? Because I'm at the divorce court. What brought you there? I had a wrong criteria, a weak commitment, warped communication, a whimsical conflict management, and a waning cash flow. Why do you do that? I love alliteration. I love words. So why do people ask why they get married? First of all, he had a wrong criteria for marriage. Watch this. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman in Timnath of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and mother and said, I have seen a woman in Timnath of the daughter of the Philistines. Now, therefore, get her for me to wife. Wow. Here's what happens. A wrong criteria. The way you chose the person you married was wrong. Especially those of us who are brothers. Why? Because we choose by eyesight rather than by insight. What do you mean by that, Pastor Ford? You know what I mean by that. We looking at the outer pulchritude. We don't know anything about the inner personality. We looking at the body. We don't know anything about the beliefs. We look at things like cash and cars. We don't know anything about the character. We look at the face. I wonder, do they have any faith? Hey, there's many people that need to learn what those theologians say. Remember those great theologians? There was 5 of them. And they said, the beauty's only skin deep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Beauty's only skin deep. Oh, yeah. Remember that song? All those lyrics? My friends ask me, what do I see in you? But it goes deeper than the eye can see. To have a pleasing personality, and that's an effervescent love quality. So, okay, I know what you're saying, man. You need to quit, man. It reminds me when I was in Moody, I went in 30. So you got kids in there, 16, 17, 18, all the way up. I was the oldest one in my classroom, at 30. And so I was sitting, I'm in a pastoral major, so you have to take music. You have to take one class. It's not an elective. It's required because you have to know if they ever want you to lead a song, you have to know how to lead a song. So we're in the class and I'm learning how to lead the song. They even made you, learn keys on the piano and all that. And then they had you sing and they had me sing. Everybody had to do the singing part. And so two of the students the next day after I sung gave me a little piece of paper. I opened it up. It was 4 demons in hell. And, you see the icicles, okay? But it's hell because the fire is frozen. And the demons are shivering, and you see the little things that show that they're shivering. And then you write the caption in. And here's what they wrote in the caption. The one demon said to the other demon, you know what? Well, they didn't call me Pastor Ford then. James Ford must have started his singing ministry. Get it? It'll be a cold day, Yeah, he must have started his singing ministry, man. I cracked up over that thing. But anyway, you can be fooled. You can. Why? Because some people are as fake as their hair, their nails, and their eyelashes, and their colored beards. Fake hair, fake nails, fake colored beards, looking for a real relationship. Samuel went down to Timnath. Wait. That's a wrong criteria. Where's he going? Timnath belongs to the Philistines. Now, it's another sermon, but guess what? It used to belong to Israel, but they lost it. That's going to preach. But that ain't for right now. In other words, you're a judge. So let's contemporize it. Let's modernize it. Let's Fordize it. He a pastor. What you doing, pastor over a church in the club? In other words, instead of going to the sanctuary, he went to Sugar Babes. And even though he was heaven bound, he started hanging at the underground. He preferred the Black Cat over the Bible church. He wasn't with the praisers. He was at the president's lounge. Instead of hanging with the Christ, he was hanging out at Cookies. And when he got to the factory, he said, I could have stayed at church because the same people are here. What's your point? Well, some of you are not from Chicago. These were very popular clubs in the city of Chicago. And the President's Lounge is still open. They got some longevity, Jack. 50-yard line, it's called the 50-yard line. I always tell people, well, if you go to the 50-yard line, you can't make a touchdown. Hello. In other words, you're going down to Timnath. You saw a woman. Now you want to marry her. That's a wrong criteria. Why? Listen, this is what I said to some. I said, hey, I'm going to say something. Y'all told me y'all met at the club. 3 months later, you're getting married. Basically, what you found out is when you get your relationship from the club, you get a club relationship. That's all that's happening with y'all. People talk about, dogs in the church too. Yeah. But at least there is this appearance or semblance of some kind of commitment to God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. In other words, listen. Anybody go to Jewel or Giant Eagle or whatever your supermarket to buy clothes? You can't buy clothes in Jewel Now, they may have a rack with some socks on it or something, but guess what? They're like 3 times as high as a regular clothing store. I ain't going to Jewel looking for some clothes. I'm going to K&G, baby. You don't go to Best Buy looking for food. You can't buy a TV at Burlington's. So you get a club man or woman, you ought to expect to get what a club man or woman. Oh, Lord Jesus, here we go. Pastor, we met in the club. Yeah. And if your marriage is working out, it's because you did your homework. I'm not saying you can't meet somebody and have a committed marriage and a good marriage from the club. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if your expectation is to go to a place where everybody partying, getting high, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and walk out of there with a solid relationship, then you boo-boo the fool. You stuck on stupid. And stupid is as stupid does. It's only a matter of time. Now notice what it says. And Samson went down to Timnath and saw a woman. Then he wanted to marry her. Wait. Here's what he did. And here's what not you that's listening to me, right now, but them other people that ain't with us right now, it's them that do this. He made a permanent decision based on a superficial evaluation. Let me say that again. He made a permanent decision based on a superficial evaluation. Here's a Fordism. Look deep before you leap. If you fall in love at first sight, you better take a second look. And listen, my brother or sister, single people, you better listen to me. If you're going to fall in love, you better make sure you know who's catching you. Oh, if you're going to fall in love, you better make sure that they will catch you. Hey, you're standing there. You're getting ready to fall in love. And you jump. Make sure you're holding their hand. Make sure they jumping with you. Okay, here's what I mean. Samson. Who's her mom and dad? Samson would have to say, I don't know. Okay, let's get deep. What are her values? What are her goals? What are her aspirations? What kind of character does she have? Is she a cusser? Is she volcanic? Does she have a quiet demeanor? Is she someone who holds everything in? Or is she someone who can't hold anything in? Samson. Okay, I ain't even going to be deep with it. I know I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Okay, Samson. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. This dude didn't even know her name. It's nowhere in. He marries her, and God makes sure that Samuel does not put her name in here. I believe that's done purposely. You do too, and you know why he did it. So that when we study this passage, we say this is an indictment on a man who would want to marry a woman and not even know who she is. It's kind of like Jacob. Remember, he got tricked, and it says, and in the morning it was Leah. Here's what I said. I don't care. At some point, you got to take that veil off to consummate that honeymoon. It is an indictment on a man that he would sleep with a woman all night and not know who she is. Because the truth is, many don't care. They're getting what they want. What's wrong with Samson? We'll talk about more. I'm going to let you go. He's in lust. He's not in love. She's not beautiful, as Mike Ross would say. She's bootiful. Listen, you say, what in the world can we do? We had the wrong criteria for marriage. You know what you got to do? You got to have a come to Jesus session. You got to be honest. Now, if you think by being honest, it's going to further erode the relationship, you need to try to get into counseling. Find somebody who's neutral. And this is what you do. You let them, you know what? I would really like for us to go to counseling. We don't need no counseling. Man, we ain't got to go to no counseling. I need it. But I would need you there so that you could hear. Well, why can't you tell me? I want someone that would be able to interpret things for us who this is what they do. You know, they listen to what people have to say and they help them to draw. I need some help. I know you love me. I want you there to be a support to me. I want you there to be able to be a sounding board. I want you there to be able to hear when this person draws things out of me that I don't even know that's in me. I need you there. I need you to hear. There may be some adjustments that we have to make and that you have to make to help me. Are you willing to do that? Because I need help. And you can't give it to me. Something to that nature. Something to that. You know, because most of the time, you know, I always, I judge people by the way they act. I put in 2 chairs and I sit there, and I know it's really in trouble when somebody moves a chair because I put them close together for a reason, because I'm a counselor. And they move that chair, I say, oh Lord. He comes in, he sits like this. If he folds his hands, he's defensive. So I know the first thing I got to do is I got to disarm him. And I'll usually do something like this. You know, you've come into me, blah, 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 tell me a little about who I am, my marriage and all that. And then I talk about the blind spots that I had, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I say, as I lift up the Bible and I say, I'm a nouthetic counselor. Now, let me tell you what that means. I don't do secular. I only do Bible. The papers you filled out for me before you came here said that you do Bible too. So I need you to know, I'm not on her side. I'm not on your side. I'm not on your side. I'm not on your side. I'm on his side. I'm going to tell you book, chapter, verse for everything we talk about. So I need you to know it's not my opinion. It's what God said. So I don't want you to see like I'm trying to get one person to do one thing or another. I am just telling you God made marriage. Now, if you're going to go, you just bought a brand new car. Like I got a 2024. Had something going wrong. I said, oh, I hope this ain't no limit. But guess what I did? I took it back to the manufacturer. I ain't go to no back alley mechanic. Why? Especially now, that thing got a computer on it. You know where I took it? I took it back to GMC. Let me tell you why. Because GMC made it. And here's how I'll know whether that person is going to respond well. Because if they're like this, and then when them arms come down, and that face changes, I say, thank you, Lord. But once I get done, and they're like this, I mean, I don't say it, but I say to myself, we're about to waste our time. This is going to be, he done already made up his mind. He not listening to anybody. And I'll say things like, hey, bro, and I know how you feel because I felt the same way when I first went to counseling with my wife. I told her, now y'all don't have to, if I'm wrong, hey, hey, I spell my name James, not Jessus. So, but I told my wife before we went to the counselor, what this man gonna tell me? He don't live with you. He don't know nothing about us. I'm gonna go just because I'm gonna prove to you, that I love you. I'm just going because you asked me, because I don't think you're gonna be able to do nothing for me. And I share that with him. And I see them arms coming down their face. I've had people say, like the wife would usually blurt out, and I say that, no, I'm gonna save that for later on. That was inappropriate. If he didn't say it, you should have kept your mouth shut. But I don't say that. But usually the wife say, he said that. You said that. And I'm saying, oh my God, I know part of the problem too now too. Okay, with you, but so you understand what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help somebody, because listen, this is a commitment that we have made where it's supposed to be one woman, one man, one lifetime. And even if you in your second or third marriage, that don't mean you can't implement the principles that make a marriage good. God has forgiven you. I hope you understand that and you've moved on and you actually have, because usually what happens is you bring the stuff you didn't resolve into the second marriage. Now you're going to have issues because everybody's going to have issues. Adam and Eve started our issues. They was the only two. Ain't no baby mama drama, baby daddy drama. Ain't no man or woman or anything like that. I heard the joke. It was really funny. He said Adam woke up and Eve was counting. He said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm counting your ribs." You'll get it on the way to work. So that's what you need to do. Deal with the things that were superficial and now they're problems. You just got to be straight, no chaser. But you got to speak the truth in love. Speak the Ephesians 4:15. Speak truth in love. Speak the truth. That's the message. In love, that's the motivation. Speak the truth. That's what you say. In love, that's how you say it. Hey, look, I know you got to get ready. And, when I get on the subject of marriage, I get excited and I keep going on and on and on. But don't forget what I said, that you belong to God. You're a child of God. Hold your head up. Walk in there. What's going on with them? I don't know. I said, oh, you happy today? I'm happy every day because I'm a child of the King. Yes. Well, listen. Maranatha. Our Lord is coming. Hey, and I'll see you here